Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. I'm Linda, for those of you who don't know, from It's a Crime. And now I just wanted to go and speak about a whole bunch of cases tonight. So I want to do it live. I miss you guys. It's been a while. I've been crazy researching the last week on my videos from last week. So it's been really busy. So now, welcome. Now, before I start, there's a ton of cases I'm going to run through tonight. Quite a few. And I just want to ask you to keep it classy in here. Most of you do. But I just want to remind you. And thank you to the mods who are in here tonight as well. I appreciate you. We may need a little bit more than usual, but you know, it's just because some of the content, some people are upset. So, look at you guys all come in. I'm so happy for you to join me. It's, what is it? It's Sunday evening. Like every day's the same. I don't know. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the case and then we'll have a little chit chat and then I'll go on to the next case. Got it? Now, let's get into it. Thank you, Samantha. All right. Let me pull up my notes and then we can keep going on it. So we're going to talk, the first case we're going to talk about is Evelyn Boswell. And there hasn't been a whole lot lately because of COVID and all those things, but Megan Boswell, Evelyn's mom, oh, today's Monday. You see, every day runs together. Why did I think it was Sunday? Thank you, Alyssa. Okay, back to Evelyn. Wow. Told you every day's the same. So Evelyn's mom, Megan Boswell, was just indicted on 11 counts of false reporting. And I am going to run you through the 11 counts quickly. So these are all the false statements that she gave. And it says, the said false statement concerning Evelyn Boswell and the defendant's claim that her infant child was with the child's father, Ethan Perry. The next one, that's number one. Number two was the alleged lack of knowledge of the whereabouts of her infant daughter and her alleged efforts to locate her daughter. Number three, Number three is concerning the alleged last physical contact that the defendant had with her infant daughter and Ethan Perry's alleged refusal to respond to her texts and voicemails regarding her daughter. And we saw her in the news going, you know, all these different things, right? So this is where she's getting busted. The said false statement concerning the defendant's alleged last physical contact with her infant daughter and the defendant's alleged lack of knowledge of the whereabouts of her infant, even though she had concerns that her daughter was possibly injured. Number five, concerning the alleged time frame of when the defendant gave her infant daughter to Ethan Perry to keep, since she could not handle her daughter anymore, and Ethan Perry's alleged threats to take the defendant to court to address the custody of their daughter. Again, number six, like it just, you know, like it's just on and on and on, right? We're going to get through these though. These are important. This is all the lies she gave. The defendant's alleged claim that she last saw her infant daughter in the custody of Ethan Perry on December 26, 2019, and that she had not contacted the police to report her missing child on the advice of Angela Boswell, the defendant's mother. Number seven, the said false statement concerning the defendant's mother possibly having her infant daughter but refusing to share with the defendant the location of her daughter and whether she had custody of the defendant's daughter. Number eight, concerning the defendant's mother allegedly having taken her infant daughter in mid-December of 2019 and refusing to tell the defendant of her daughter's location, and that she allegedly did not call the police to report her infant daughter missing out of fear that her mother would harm Evelyn Boswell. Number nine, that the defendant's mother having allegedly taken her infant daughter because her mother believed that the defendant owed her money, and that the defendant's mother had allegedly told her that Evelyn Boswell would not be returned to the defendant until the money was paid. Number 10, like, whew, man, can only tell lies, I guess. Okay, number 10. The said false statement concerning her mother allegedly having Evelyn Boswell at an unknown location, and that despite the efforts of the defendant to find her infant daughter, she allegedly did not know the whereabouts of her infant daughter and did not have any additional information to provide to law enforcement in their attempts to find the missing child. Number 11. Megan Boswell, on or about February 23rd, 2020, in the state and county aforesaid and before the finding of this presentment, did unlawfully and feloniously make a statement in response to a legitimate inquiry by Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Assistant Agent in Charge Chris Wilhoit, I don't know how I say it, Wilhoit, a law enforcement officer concerning her mother allegedly having given the defendant's infant daughter, Evelyn Boswell, to another person who Angela Boswell refused to name, and that her infant child was safe and would have a better life with the unknown person than with the defendant. So it's just like, pfft. Now, they said that there's a person of interest, but the authorities said, they haven't named the person. And she is currently being held in the Sullivan County Jail on a $150,000 bond. And her next court date was set for June 19th, and now it's set for July 31st at 9 a.m. That's what the docket says. I checked that this morning. So that's that for Evelyn. Obviously, like, these cases take a long time, right? And because of the virus and all this stuff, they have had everything on hold. So, I don't know if it's going to, now we have to wait till the end of July for more, but maybe there'll be some more stuff. Any questions about Evelyn Boswell? I mean, she's listening to stuff from her mom. Her mom isn't exactly a pillar of the community, let's just say. Oh yeah, I'm going to have a lot of stuff to cover tonight. There's going to be stuff. Nothing said about the autopsy yet about little Evelyn that I could see. And the authorities were talking about it being on hold because of the virus. Nobody has, she hasn't been charged yet with any. They have somebody in a person of interest, but they didn't name who it was. And basically they're charging her right now for all these lies, pretty much. Yes, I know, I can't say pillar of the community, right? Like, she's not. So we'll see what they actually come up with and what's going on behind the scenes. Hopefully we can get a little bit more information, but I think we're going to have to wait for a little bit. So now let's go on to the next one. I have a tiny little update about Holly Clark. I covered her. She's a Canadian girl that's been missing since January. And that was January 11th in Hamilton, Ontario. And she still hasn't been found. The only thing that's been updated was that Holly's dad, Dave Clark, is back in Hamilton, Ontario to tie up loose ends. So that's all I know about that. It's just really tiny. And I did want to mention that, though, because there was a little bit of an update. So if you wanted to see that after this live stream, I will put all my playlists of the videos I talk about and the cases. I will just put them in the description below so you can actually see that. And what else will I do? Oh, and then there's time stamping too, so I'll be doing that as well. Welcome if you're just joining. We just covered two quick cases. One would be Evelyn Boswell and her mom, Megan Boswell. And also, I just talked about Holly Clark. It was really tiny, but they are still looking for her, and she still has not been found. And she's been missing since January. All right, so let's go on to the next one. And we're going to talk a little bit of Letitia. So, a judge pushed back Letitia's preliminary hearing, but she still has to appear in court because she's supposed to do that this June 5th. And so instead, they changed it, but she still has to show up. And it says that the judge will address other issues like attorney access to Letitia. And this took me, like I've heard this for the last, well, since it came out that they're changing it. And, you know, you have to, I need some eye rolling time. I just have to finish like eye rolling all my stuff, like my eyes, and then be able to come and talk about her. Because I just eye roll all the time. And attorneys for Letitia have filed a motion asking the court to consider releasing her on bond. This is where the eye rolling comes in. But the motion says it calls for an order granting attorneys video access to Letitia or otherwise grant Letitia a bond so that she is able to have a video and phone access with counsel from the safety of her own home. Let's just have a moment of silence about that. So that's not the only thing. Oh, it goes on to say, the motion acknowledged the option for attorneys to visit Stauch in person, but claimed it's too dangerous due to how contagious the virus is. So it took me some time to just digest that for a minute. Because she actually, yeah, did I mention that already? Yeah, she wants to have a bond as well. And yeah, right? Like, what do you, yeah, on what home? Oh, I'm sorry, you want counsel from the safety of her home. Pretty sure she doesn't have a place to live. Pretty sure. And pretty sure she's not going back to anywhere that Al's living. So there's that. Jacqueline says, can I get an eye rolling emoji with a yeah, okay? I know, I do say that, don't I? Yeah, okay. So when I hear that, it's like, this is ridiculous. Now, a couple people have asked me about Gannon and is there a funeral? But because of the virus, it was put on hold. So I haven't seen anything as of yet. If there is, and I know there will be, but there's no mention of when the service actually is. And I also saw, and I will put this in the description below as well. I saw a really cool video from Landon, Gannon's mom, and she talked about the two words, what if? And she says if you use them separately, it's very different. You know, saying what, like what's up, and then if, you know, if I were to go to the doctor, you know, this kind of thing. So then she started talking about how she first thought about what if, and it being, you know, what if I didn't put Gannon on that plane? But then she spun it to a positive, and I really admire and I really respect Landon for how she's handled this whole thing, because it's absolutely maniacal what's happened, and no one should ever have to lose a baby. But Landon was putting it as a spin, saying, listen, just talking about putting positivity out there, and, you know, what if I did this today that, you know, makes somebody's day a little brighter? So I just really, it's really cool. I'm going to put that in the links below so that you can actually go and see that, because I like to balance this one out with some good stuff, because it's just ridiculous. And to me, when back to Letitia, we know she's going to say that she believes she's innocent and she believes she's done nothing wrong and it's nobody's fault, you know, or sorry, it's not her fault, but everybody else's fault. And I say that because of the hours and hours and hours I poured into her things that she says, and it's all about how it's everybody else's fault, right? So, and so that was supposed to be, so her hearing is on the 5th of June still, but they're doing something different and they're pushing it off. Let me just look. Oh, there's Diane. If you guys are wondering what the little green thing that's popping up, that's my new membership that I started a little bit more than a month ago, I guess a month and a half ago now. So if you are wondering what the heck that is, that's what it is. Let me just look. Yeah, so that's what I have about Letitia so far. Now, I do have some things I can still be doing on Letitia and Gannon. And I think it's still important to bring into play some timelines. And I know there's going to be more videos anyways once the discovery comes out. So I've been a little bit quiet, but yeah, Natasha says, no one cares what you think, Tisha. No one. Or what you want, exactly. Nobody cares, Letitia. But we care for justice. And so that's coming. I do wonder, though, what Michael Allen would think when he sees, this come across his desk, that she wants to be in the comfort of her own home so that they can chat. Would you like some cappuccino, perhaps, and a biscotti? I don't get it. Welcome aboard, Deb. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. So, but I will see this through because I made a promise to Gannon, and I am certainly going to make sure that everything comes out. This discovery that comes out, I'm ripping it apart. Welcome aboard, Lil Red. So that's what I have for them. I did see something really cool, two things really cool. They did a motorcycle, it was like a motorcycle thing, and I can't remember if it was a run too. It was really great. And I think 150, oh my gosh, I can't even remember the numbers now. See? I thought it was Sunday. It's Monday. Hello, Becky. I did get your email, so I can't remember if I emailed you back or not, but I did get it. I've been working on this today. So, yeah, so here we are. All right, so now that's Letitia. Let's wipe the slate of that. We love Gannon, and we don't need to talk about Letitia too much until the stuff comes out where I'm going to rip it apart. All right, so was a huge outing in Colorado Springs here. Yeah, the ride for Gannon, that's what it was. It was really cool. I saw a little bit of it, and I just love that everybody comes together for him, and it's really cool. You know something, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Sometimes I sit outside and work on my computer so that I can get a little bit of sun while I'm working, and I saw a little kid go by, and I swear to you, he looked exactly like Gannon. I just stopped in my tracks and said to my hubby, oh my gosh, he looks like Gannon. So, you're asking me how old I am? I'll take 34. I will definitely take 34. Nope, I'm older than that. I say I'm older than Kim Kardashian, but younger than Jennifer Lopez. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, here is where we are going to ask for keeping it classy, okay? Because a lot of people are going to be riled up, but we're going to keep it classy in here, okay? Because it's been a little crazy. Now, I have been doing different cases, so I have not covered this in a separate video, but I'm going to cover this now. And we are going to talk a little bit about George Floyd, okay? We're going to talk about George Floyd. Just keep it nice. All right. So, as you know, last Monday, George Floyd was killed. And by a police officer. We all know about this, right? Because there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening in the world. Or all over the country, I should say. And it is really, really shocking. I do say it. I did catch this later on in the week, but I have been watching. Now, today, though, I want to say something very important because I saw on NBC today that George Floyd's brother, Terrence, gave a speech, and I feel it was a very powerful speech. And he started out by chanting peace on the left and the crowd responding justice on the right. And he says, if I'm not out here blowing up stuff, if I'm not out here messing up my community, then what are y'all doing? You are doing nothing, because that's not going to bring my brother back at all. And that is so very, very powerful, because he's grieving his brother, his family's grieving his brother, and in a lot of ways he sees the peaceful protests, and I'm sure he's feeling supported, but now he's watching the craziness that's happening all over the place, right? And he says, my family is a peaceful family. And he goes on to say, let's do this another way. And I will put, if you guys haven't seen this, it's on NBC, and I will put the link underneath it. He says, let's do this another way. Let's stop thinking that our voice don't matter and vote. Let's educate yourself. He says, don't wait for somebody else to tell yourself who's who and know who you are voting for. And then at the end, he chants, what's his name? And they say George Floyd over and over and over and over. Now, I watched the video. I watched the video a few times, and then again today twice. I watched it just watching George, and then I watched it just watching Derek. And I'll get to that in a minute. So let's just talk about the autopsy, because there was two. One of them was an independent autopsy done, and then the other one. You live in Minnesota, and there's a massive bomb that went off. We're on lockdown. It's just crazy, you guys. I'm so sorry you guys are going through this. It's just awful. I'll give a little tiny bit of my thoughts about it. But if Terrence is sitting there going, please, like peaceful protest, okay, but this shouldn't be happening, right? All right, so welcome, Clara. Okay, so yeah, you guys are letting me know about your curfews. Okay, I do realize there's quite a few too, right, everywhere. I'll get to that in a minute. So they talked about the independent autopsy, okay? And they did a press release, and it said that the EMTs did pulse checks and finding none, and they did one shock with a monitor, but George's condition didn't change. And then it was quoted, the ambulance was the hearse. And I think that's very, very, very powerful. Michael Freeman says, please give all your thoughts, Linda. Screw the haters. Okay, Michael, thank you. I love you guys' support. You guys are awesome. Welcome, Clara and Allison. Okay, welcome. Okay, so he said the ambulance was the hearse, right? They said there was two mechanisms in place that caused George's death. Not only the knee to his neck, but the weight of the other two police officers on his back. It said it prevented blood flow into his brain, but also airflow in his lungs. Now, I said to my hubby, hasn't heard this part, I said, I bounced off the autopsy to him. And as soon as I said, you know, there's two reasons, and I said the knee to the back. As soon as I said knee to the back, hubby said right away, well, he's not gonna be able to take a breath. And he's a medic. So for those of you who don't know, my hubby is a paramedic of 16 years, 15 or 16 years. So yeah, so they said, what else? So he couldn't take a breath in either way. Why is everybody talking about my face thinned out so all of a sudden? Maybe they just got a tan. I don't know. Okay, back to George. This is important. Yeah, so he couldn't take a breath in. And I watched that video, like 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes, right? Anyways, he says this. And what did we see take place? He says, you saw in action the blue shield. That police officer who stood in front while the other police officers held him down. He's culpable too. Derek Chauvin is charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, this is probably not the first time this has happened, right? Like, this is my first thing. Probably not the first time if this is happening with this officer. It's not like brand new. He's been on the force for 18 years. And then I read that it wasn't the first time. I haven't dug in too much, but I did find a lot of little info snacks today. So he's been charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter, and they're asking for that to be rated. Now, aw, thank you. How do I say your username? Shia? So this is a lot of important things to talk about this, right? There's so many elements to this, in my opinion. Now, back to this independent autopsy, it says he died by mechanical asphyxia and it's considered a homicide. And they're doing a memorial for George on this Thursday, June the 4th, from 1 to 3 p.m. Alyssa says, rest in peace, Mr. Floyd. God bless his family. My heart breaks for them and all families affected by this tragedy. It's just, I can't even say, it's so speechless, okay? And I'll talk about the actual video footage in a minute. There was another report on his autopsy, and that wasn't the independent one. And they did say about it not being, it was going to be different because they don't have all the pieces. Okay, I'll just say that. But the second report said that George had heart disease. It also noted fentanyl intoxication and recent methamphetamine use as the significant conditions, but did not describe them as contributors. So there's a little bit of differences in that, but we'll see what happens. But you know what? Regardless, in my opinion, what happened was not right. And then I read a little bit of the background. And this is where it gets interesting. Number one, this Derek guy had 18 complaints against him. And 2 was addressed, or he got sent home or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But there was 18 in total that I read. Then I read, do I talk about that first? Let's go back to the video for a minute. Let's go before I speak to this. When I saw the video, and I'm not going to get too much into it, but I watched the video, and there's some other videos, right? There's supportive ones from the opposite side of the vehicle and before this all went down. But when he had his knee on him, I just thought to myself, why is he like 8 minutes and 46 seconds? Like, really? And the other cop who was standing, blocking the view. But I watched the first time I watched George. And he's saying, like, officer, I can't breathe. Officer, I can't breathe. And obviously he had his knee on his neck. I mean, 8 minutes and 46 seconds. But then I watched the second time and just watched Derek. And I was like, man, is he ever cocky? He seems like it to me, in my opinion. That it seemed like, why is he so confident like this? It's just kind of, it was just like, just another day. And it was almost a bit of cockiness. I don't know how else to put it. Then I read this. Both men, Derek Chauvin and George Floyd, worked together they worked security together at the El Nuevo Rodeo Club down the street from Minneapolis 3rd Precinct. And a former club owner, Maya Santa Maria, told CNN that George worked some Tuesdays as extra security. And Chauvin worked as an off-duty police officer for the club for nearly 17 years. Okay, let's just stop there for a minute. Chauvin worked for 17 years, right? And George worked there on Tuesdays. But here's the most important. It says, I wouldn't characterize them as knowing each other. She said this to CNN. And that's fair to say because, I mean, define know, right? But she added, we all worked together certain nights and they could have crossed paths. That's what bothers me. And this is from CNN that's talking about this. So my only thing is maybe they didn't really know each other, but just let me ask you this question, okay? I'm just going to ask you this. What's George, like 6'5", 6'5"? He's going to be noticeable, in my opinion. And maybe there's more to it. Maybe that's why there was the cockiness on, who's the big man now. Maybe. Then, before I get back into the other stuff, Derek's wife, because now he's sitting in jail and now he's in high security, max security. Derek's wife filed for divorce right away and wants her name back. She wants her name back. And they're supposed to on June 12th, I believe it is. It's going to be like 10, it was their 10-year anniversary. But she says she doesn't want spousal support and vice versa, pretty much. Doesn't want anything, she just wants out. Now, there was a weird rumor that the police officer that was standing in front of George, blocking the view and whatnot, they were saying that the wife and him were brother and sister, but they're not. I mean, I think people are just, that was a rumor. So that's been cleared up. So, it said 2010. It said 2010. She became Miss, what was it? Beauty pageant thing. She became that in 2018. But it said she was married in 2010 from what I read today. So, the thing is, right? Okay, so Jessica says, I've been to El Nuevo Rodeo. It's not large, but not large enough to not know fellow employees. Right. And if he was working there 17 years, and don't forget this, if he's a police officer, right? he's trained to notice things, right? You're not going to notice a 6'6.5" man who's also working security with you? In my opinion. Now, here's the thing. Not all cops are the same. Not all women are the same. Not all men are the same. Not all children are the same. Okay? So not all police officers are bad. They're not. And so I saw something on the news where a woman was driving up in a BMW. That's what they said. Look, do you see that BMW? They showed this on the news. You see that BMW? That woman was yelling at the TAC team. Well, here's the thing. What good is it to yell at the TAC team when he is not Derek Chauvin or the other two men who have their knees on George's back? Right? Or they said even the guy standing there, tactical team. So there's no need, and that's like, it's so ridiculous. That's like saying everybody with the name Linda is X, Y, and Z. Well, no, it's not. Are there a lot of police officers that are great? Yes. Okay, think National Guard, tactical team. That's what we call it in Canada. I thought that's what they called the TAC team down there too. But right. So here's the thing. Now I did see, and I will say this. Okay, so we're gonna play like this and this. I did see a police vehicle run like in New York, barrel through the barricade. And I actually went like that when it happened. Michael Freeman says, Linda, I think what you should understand is that the good cops often see the corruption and do nothing about it. That's the problem. Michael, you make a very, very good point. And listen, I know from both sides, okay? I have friends that are firefighters, I have friends that are paramedics, I have friends that are police officers. But I also know the opposite side as well. And I have people who I know who have had terrible things happen by a police officer. And they used their power and they get away with things, okay? But it's not every single police officer. It's just like it's not every single woman that does this and this and this, and not every single man. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing, okay? I'm watching a little bit of what you guys are saying. Was there anybody who was standing there watching this all go down? I want to know if they called somebody else. What happened in these 9 minutes? Also, it's my understanding that George got arrested over a $20 counterfeit bill. Now, we don't know if he knew it was counterfeit or not. I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. All I know is what happened there shouldn't have. It shouldn't have. And certainly not for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. So they're getting what they need to get. And this is national attention. And those other guys who have been fired, and hopefully, well, from the sounds of it, they're going to be in trouble too. So now, I did see on the news, okay? I did see on the news the looting, the fire setting, the damage, the fireworks being towards other people. And what, like, that to me is, I don't quite understand. Okay, I know people are upset, but now they're committing crimes. So, Cheryl, exactly. Even if he committed a crime, it wasn't worthy of death. this is exactly it. And it's certainly the display of what happened, okay? So I know everybody's angry. And also, the whole country and Canada's going through it, the whole world is going through it, okay? Everybody has gone through a lot in the last few months with the virus, with people losing their jobs, with people having to stay home, with all these things that have happened. People are struggling financially, they're struggling emotionally, okay? All these things are happening. Now you get them upset, and now everybody is going hog wild. And is that necessary? Is that necessary? You know? So I watched the riot. I watched the places that I saw was Seattle on the news. I saw Minneapolis, Seattle, Denver, New York. New York is the one that it was just, it was crazy. So, not that any other place wasn't, but it's just that's where I saw the actual police vehicle run into people. And, you know, so it's just, it shouldn't have happened. And I'm really sad for him and the family. And maybe there's going to be something, I don't know, something put into place. Maybe this is just hopeful, wishful thinking. Maybe they'll have something where a police officer only has, you know, a 2 strikes you're out, or depending on what it is. Nope, that's not acceptable and you're out. Who knows? I don't know. That might be wishful thinking, because, you know, things happen and people abuse their power. Not all people, but some people abuse their power. And Alyssa, do you guys believe someone else is paying them to riot? Oh my gosh, that's a whole other story. I have no idea. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I try and be positive. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but maybe some people will take that into, you know, into consideration. Thank you, Michael. You're very supportive. Thank you. Yeah, you know, and here's the thing. I know there is a huge issue about race. I know there's a huge issue. There's lots of that going on. I know there is. But no matter what color you are, that shouldn't have happened. Right? A human should not do that to a human. Never. And at what point do you not give a little elbow and say, okay, that's enough? So that's what I want to say about that. Now, I think I've said my piece on that. And I really thought it was powerful for George's brother. And I think everybody should just, you know, listen to that. So, okay, whew, shake it off. Shake it off. what? I responded to something you said. I didn't bring it up. You did. If something a moderator says is not relevant, then maybe you should block yourself instead of trying to impose your internet power. I don't know what was said. The comments go really, really fast, so I'm not sure what you've said earlier. Okay, now, before we get to the other ones, because I know you guys are itching about Lori, I want to talk about Vanessa Guillen. And if you guys aren't familiar, I do urge you to look at that case that I've done a video on for her. She was last seen, she's actually private first class Vanessa Guillen. And she's 20 years old, and she was last seen on April 22nd from Fort Hood. And now they're asking the public to get involved. And if you guys don't remember, she actually, like I said, she went missing from Fort Hood, but she was working in the armory and they found her ID, her wallet, and her keys in there. And typically you wouldn't be doing that from my understanding. And Michael, who's in here, can give us some insight on that as well. Typically that does not happen because you've got to get back in and there's something going on in there. So what really bothers me is that there's no anything, there's no information for us to go on. And oh, Michael, I was just saying, if once I start talking about Vanessa, that perhaps, you know, whatever it is, you can pipe in and say what you want. Because I know we have some conversation in the comments about this. Myra is Vanessa's sister, and she says she's not going to stop until they find her. And there's a search party that took place and is searched in the Belton area. And they also have, and I'm going to put this in the description as well, so you can look at it. They're doing a petition to sign for the White House. Pamela says, my regards for George Floyd. May he receive justice post haste. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, Vanessa. So there's a lot of things that are going on at Fort Hood. And things have to start changing. I mean, it just goes on and on. Actually, I had it here. Let me find it for you guys. Okay, so there's a petition. Find missing U.S. Army soldier Vanessa Guillen. And they need to get 87,612 signatures by June 22nd to get a response from the White House. And she only has 12,388 signatures. So we could do better than that. There's almost 70,000 people on my channel. So let's see, actually, that's the crazy thing. We would almost get there if everybody would sign. And I will, you know what, let me put that right here. Just so in case I forget to put it in there. It's just, I think it says it's just kind of long, so hang on here. Let's see if that works. There's so many people that go missing. And here's the thing, there's another, let me read you this. There's a Fort Hood soldier that was found shot dead near a burning Jeep, okay? That was May 21st that this was reported. It says they're investigating the death of a Fort Hood soldier as a homicide after he was found dead from a gunshot wound roughly 13 miles from his post on Monday. And it says that they identified him as a 27-year-old PFC Brandon Scott Rosecrans as the victim in their murder investigation, and also the owner of an orange 2016 Jeep Renegade that was found along with the deceased. You know what I want to know right away? Right away? I want to know if that was a new vehicle. That's what I want to know. And I'll tell you why in a minute if you guys haven't. Yeah, it said, let me read that again. yeah, he had a gunshot wound, but it was also, well, I'll keep reading, let you know. The vehicle was on fire when it was first reported to police, officers said, and it was later confirmed to belong to Rosecrans. The cause of the fire is still under investigation by the Harker Heights Fire Marshal, police said. Fort Hood officials confirmed that Rosecrans was assigned to the post on Wednesday. Rosecrans served as a quartermaster and chemical equipment repairer with the 3rd Armored Brigade Combat Team, 1st Cavalry Division. He had been with the unit since November 2018. Rosecrans joined the Army in May 2018. His home of record is listed as Kimberling City, Missouri, according to Fort Hood. Rosecrans awards and decorations include the National Defense Service Medal and the Army Service Ribbon. I am telling you, there are so many things going on at Fort Hood, and I mean lists of people are not dying in war. They're dying at the base, at the Yeah, Michael says it's not unusual for new soldiers arriving at their first station to look for cars. Right. So the thing is what we know is Vanessa was talking to her sister the night before she went missing about buying a new car. And why I bring this up is because there is a guy who's a soldier who went missing last August, and he had just bought a new car. So I want to know, for some reason, with my quirky mind, I want to know about this, if that was also a new vehicle. Thank you, Karen. And also, here's another little thing. Just over a year ago in March of 2019, there was another woman who died in a parking lot at Fort Hood. And it is so hush-hush, I cannot find how this woman died. I can't find it. And there's like maybe 2 articles on her, and she was a mom, and she had like 4 or 5 children, and there's nothing on her. And she died in a parking lot. And Vanessa vanished from a parking lot. Now, they said she was last seen at the parking lot. Who saw her? Was there a camera, or was that a witness? Who saw her? Here's the other thing I'm thinking. She had her ID, her wallet, and her keys left there. Maybe she didn't leave it there. Maybe it was placed there. We don't know. Thank you, Maddie. And thank you for signing that. I mean, it's so important. There's nothing. And I even saw Myra, the sister, I think it was a week or 2 ago, that she was saying that, look, I'm not getting anything. Like, I've had no information at all. And it's just not right. And they're trying to find Vanessa. Where the heck is she? Oh, you can read it. It's a petition for the White House for Vanessa Guillen. I should say to the White House. And what they want is, I'll just read this, it's for find missing U.S. Army soldier Vanessa Guillen. And it says, explains Vanessa Guillen is a 20-year-old U.S. Army soldier that went missing on active duty at the Fort Hood military base on April 22nd, 2020. It has been more than a month without knowing anything about her. How did she disappear on base? She did not just vanish. Vanessa needs to be found. She is serving her country. She is supposed to be safe while doing so. Help us get answers about her whereabouts. It has been too long. She is a daughter, friend, and sister. It is devastating not knowing where she is. And as of this, maybe I'll refresh it. Let's just see. I'll refresh it now. Yeah, so they need 87,612 signatures, but by June 22nd, 2020, to get a response from the White House. And there's only 12,388 signed. So I was saying, well, there's 70,000 almost on my channel. Maybe, a good portion of it people can, oh, sorry, I'll give it to you again. It's going to be hard to scroll back up, isn't it? If you don't get it, I'm going to put it in the description below, so no worries there. And I did even see on Vanessa's sister Myra, there's not a whole lot of people answering either, you know, on her page, and she's, you know, making pleas. So maybe, you know. Did you guys get it? I'll just do one more time for you. Let's see if I can see it. There we go. It's actually phenomenal about how many people go missing from Fort Hood or killed. Like, there's a list. There's a legit list of people, and it just goes on forever. So I'd like to know what else is going on there, but we're never going to know, I don't think. No, the Suzanne Morphew's coming up. It's coming up. Okay, I need a sip of my carbonated water. It is not beer. It's not beer. Hang on. Okay, whew. Sorry about the gulping. Yeah, it isn't just Fort Hood. It happens a lot of military bases, I'm sure. I'm talking about this because there's a large list. Of course, they don't want to tarnish their image. The problem is now their image is getting more tarnished because, you know, we don't know where these people are, and nobody's really helping out like that. Linda's like, beer me. I'm allergic to beer, so I definitely wouldn't be beer. If I'm drinking beer on here, you guys got to worry. Okay, please be sure to confirm your email addresses after signing in order for the signature. Yes, so please please check your emails, because we want everything to count. I apologize for gulping because people are like, oh my God, she's drinking. Can you not be so loud? I'm sorry. Would you like me not to breathe? Thank you so much, you guys. Maybe next time I'll drink a little bit of wine. No, I'm just joking. I'm good. I really don't drink very much. All right, what else do you guys have to say here? Don't you have to be American to sign the petition? I don't know. I don't know. Most of my viewers are from America. Linda Nader's t-shirt. Oh, look at you guys are giving me the go-ahead to drink as loud as I want and gulp. The sparkling water is amazing. My little one thinks it's legit pop. And it's not. Okay, so let's go on to the next case if you guys are good. Okay, here we go. Suzanne Morphew. So there's a little bit to talk about here. Okay, so here we go. What we know so far is the home was released last week, right? Back to the Morphew family. There was an accidental video that was posted by a YouTuber yesterday talking to Barry Morphew. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Suzanne Morphew case, just give you a little bit of a breakdown. And you'll see it after the video. I'll put it in the description. Suzanne was reported missing on Mother's Day, May 10th. So we're going on, what's that, just 3 weeks? About 3 weeks. yesterday. And there's been talk that she was riding a bike, but we don't know if she was riding a bike. There has been zero descriptors about how she looks, other than the picture of what she looks like. But nobody said her height officially, nobody said her weight, nobody said her eye color, her hair color, what her bike looks like. There's lots of things that are super hush-hush, really weird. So that's just to bring you up to speed, okay? This accidental video wasn't an accident. And he posted it. However, this video also was deleted from his channel. And then the guy, all of his videos were gone. So Laura Lee says, do I know the latest news? That depends. That depends on what the latest news is. I could or not. The video wasn't there earlier today. They were all gone. And then another YouTuber posted this video. So what's beautiful, though, is thanks to one of my subscribers, they sent me an entire, transcript this morning when I woke up. So that helped, but I did see it yesterday. And then this morning went to go look at it again, like, uh-oh, it's not there. Now, I have a couple of ideas about it, and I don't need to, maybe I don't need to go through it so much. Barry is Suzanne's husband of 30 years. Yeah, it was so nice of somebody to transcribe, because I tell you, it takes hours to transcribe something. Now, one of the things with this, okay, people are very upset at my Barry video. I don't think they need to be upset. I mean, I didn't come out and say, he's so guilty, you know. Tim Miller with Texas EquiSearch flew out yesterday to help with a missing girl. Not sure who he's helping search for. Credit due to... no, I got a transcription from a girl this morning. I got an email this morning, so it wasn't from a YouTuber. She said, would I like the transcript? And I said, that would be awesome. Let me just find it. I thought I had it open. Hang on, guys. I had it open for you. Here it is. Yeah. She sent it to me 12 hours ago. So anyways, we had a little chit chat about it. Who put the video up? His name was Tyson Draper, I believe his last name is. And so he came on a couple days ago and he was saying, hey, I ran into Barry. I'm going to be posting the video. And then he said, yeah, keep it classy in here. We don't have to talk about other YouTubers in a negative way. you know, keep it classy. Just be nice. And here's the thing, if I did get it from anybody, if I did get something from a YouTuber, people who do know me, I would totally say, I got it from this person. I got it from this YouTuber. I watched this YouTuber. I did that YouTuber. I have no problem with that. Actually, I'm quite supportive of a lot of people and a lot of YouTubers, so it's all good. I even say, could you imagine if we actually worked together, right? So, anyway, okay, so back to that. So, yeah, Tyson Draper is the guy's name. And he, let me see, okay, we'll just pull it up because I don't know if he's still there. So, what happened was it was there last night. And then today, this morning, I went to go see it again because, you know, take another look. And it was not there, but his other videos were. And so it now says this channel has no videos. So if you look on here, and I'll show you, that is the original person who interviewed him. I mean, I wouldn't really say an interview, but I mean, kind of, it's an interview. Just Barry didn't know that it was an interview, so. Michelle says, I know of a YouTuber that interviewed Tyson about his videos. After Tyson took his videos down, the YouTuber said Tyson said he won't mess with the guys on the hill. They are killers. The guys on the hill. Okay, so Dad with the phone talked to Tyson Draper on speakerphone and has the full. Okay. All right, so we learned something new tonight. I did hear on the video at the end, if you guys are talking about that, Barry said, well, you know, I hope you're not one of the media, and I don't want you to, it says, you know, if you do put it out there, whatever, I'm going to have to go after you. But it sounded like in jest, you know? So there's two ways to look at his little interview. And some people are saying, or not some people, the way I viewed it, okay, I'm just going to give my opinion. The way I viewed it could be two different things. Number one, he's legit concerned and he's just trying to find his wife. That's option one. And this is how, I mean, the authorities have to look at it two ways, right? Because of, even statistically, they have to look at the person closest. And then they figure out, you know, if not. I gave my opinions on Barry's first 25-second video. This Tyson guy said it was accidental, and before it even played, I heard accidental video, and I thought, oh no, this is like accidental Letitia, right? So from my understanding, anyways, this guy goes and he starts to ask him some questions. And I could hear Barry talking, and he talked about how the bike was over in, like, down in the ravine, like they were talking about in the ravine. I don't know Barry, so I really don't know what he's normally like. My first initial reaction when he first started talking about the mountain lions is like, wow, he's really talking about it like so matter-of-factly, right? But he may, and I'm giving Barry credit at this point. He may have said this so many times to people of what he thinks happened that it was just like, okay, I've already told this, I'm going to tell it again, you know, that kind of thing, right? Thank you, Divinely Minded. I like your name. And so, there was that. Now let's just look. I'm going to go back to the email I got. Yeah, he says the bike was found at the bottom of the hill by the tree. But he didn't say it was leaning up. Tyson said something about it being leaning up. Oh yeah, so they found her bike just right against the tree down there, and he says, well, no, it was on the ground. It was, the wheel was facing, and then he didn't finish his sentences, okay? He doesn't finish his sentences. But whatever that means, right? But there's a couple things that was interesting to me. Barry's upset in this video. He's upset at the authorities. And he says the sheriff department, they screwed everything up. They shouldn't have touched it, meaning the bike. Tyson says, oh, really? And he says they should have left it. It's evidence. They pulled it up, and then the sheriffs we had cars over here. Well, the sheriff let everybody drive through here, covering all or messing up all the evidence. They were walking all over this area, which is, if somebody abducted her, they would have had foot tracks, they would have had fingerprints on the bike, and they let 10 other people touch the bike. So then they talked about Denver. He says, I didn't get here till, no, sorry. Then he talks about, I didn't get here till 9 o'clock that night. And my friend's an Army Ranger and he knows his stuff better than anybody. He did 400 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. And anyways, they were talking about that. He says, they were talking about the article and he called it an article, not an item. Maybe that's just his way of saying it, but does that mean there was an article of clothing? Because they didn't say that, right? They just said, Carla, I can read it. So he did say article. I thought, oh, does that mean an article of clothing? But he says they haven't said anything to him. The other thing, let's keep going. Tyson starts talking about Christopher Watts and Patrick Frazee. He says, okay, let me see, fine. Yeah, Tyson says, well, get your name cleared and then you know. And Barry says, well, they told me that it's cleared. I don't know if it's on the media because the media and something like it is blowing me up. It was hard what she says here. She says, well, Tyson says, well, they're going to, man. They're going to, because, I mean, you got to look at, they're going to be, especially in Colorado, there's been so many cases where like Patrick Frazee, Christopher Watts, these guys get on there and say they act like, they didn't do anything. And so naturally people are going to be skeptical. Yeah, I understand, Barry says. So they talk about that. Here's the other thing. Okay. If there's an article, they need to, and then you can't hear it. Right, this is where he says, Barry says, we found men's clothing. There was men's close up there by the lake by Fusis that they did DNA and tested. Okay, where's the other spot that I was... Okay, so Tyson says, well, let me ask you a quick question, Barry. So you were in Denver, but how long? How long before somebody noticed that she was gone? And he says, well, it was Mother's Day. That didn't answer. That wasn't the answer to the question. And Tyson says, it was Mother's Day? Says, yeah, we had 2 daughters that were coming home from a trip. And I had that job in Denver that I wanted to get started on Sunday. Set it up for my workers. My workers will come Sunday night. My work's on Monday, but I'm the owner and I want to get everything lined up so that they didn't have to stand there and wait on me Monday morning and they could get busy working. He says, so I told my wife, I said, listen, the girls are going to be home. They want to spend Mother's Day with you. Mind if I go? We said our goodbyes and stuff, and the girls get home and they'll be together. That's what we thought was going to happen. The girls were running late, so they text their mom, Happy Mother's Day. She didn't text back, so we went to, or they called my neighbors and said, listen, it's Mother's Day. I'm a little worried, and will you go check the house? And the neighbor went and checked the house, saw that her car was there, but the bike was gone. She called me in Denver and said, hey, we're just a little worried. And I go, well, I'm too, just be safe. Okay, so hang on here. Teresa says, Linda, it's not about this one death. There has been too many victims to count. It's all about the injustice done for generations. I think you're referring to George Floyd, right? Because we're on Suzanne Morphew right now, so you might be a little bit behind on catching up, maybe. But thank you. You're right. You're right. So let's get back to this. Okay, so Barry Morphew. This is what's interesting, and this is why the bike was never described, in my opinion, because he says here, the neighbor went and checked the house, saw that her car was there, but the bike was gone. Well, just because her bike was gone doesn't mean Suzanne was on the bike, right? Yeah, 400 tours, I think, is just an exaggeration. It's like, you know, like I say, 7,000, you know, things, I think. So I think that's why they didn't mention the bike, because he's saying the neighbors checked that the car was there, but the bike wasn't there. Or this is what it sounds like, right? If he's telling the truth. Suzanne has been missing since Mother's Day, May 10th. So it's going to be upcoming here in another week. It'll be a month. Now, a lot of people are talking about Mother's Day. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he wouldn't be there. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't be glad. You know, I'd be mad. My husband was working on Mother's Day. We spent the day before to celebrate it. And on Mother's Day, he had to work. He's a paramedic, he had to work. That's the life of a paramedic, a firefighter, a police officer, anybody on shift work. So, no, he's not a paramedic. I'm just saying my husband is a paramedic. He was working on Mother's Day. Okay, so what's interesting is he did not answer the question. Tyson says, well, let me ask you a quick question, Barry. So you were in Denver, but how long before somebody noticed that she was gone? And he said, well, it was Mother's Day. So it sounds like the way Barry is answering, he's saying, I left that morning, just from the sounds of it, because he said he went to go there, ask, you know, it's Mother's Day, can I go there? Or, you know, is it okay if I go? He said, mind if I go? He went there, and then they get the phone call. So, and then, what was the other thing? I think that was it. Okay, so here's the both sides to it too that I was going to say. If Barry is innocent, right? He technically doesn't know that he's being filmed. And so he may be like, this is what I think, there's a mountain lion, even though the authorities did say, no, we don't think it's a animal attack, right? He said there's a mountain lion and she could be kidnapped and all this stuff. He brought up the money right away. yes, I'm still live. He brought it up right away and said, yeah, there's a reward. Let me get his exact word. Let me show you what happened, and I do have a reward. So they talked about the $210,000. So if you're just getting in, we're just talking about Suzanne Morphew. We covered so many cases already. Evelyn Boswell, Vanessa Guillen, George Floyd, Suzanne Stauch. And there's a ton of rumors going on about this story. There's a ton. Oh, that he was threatened to remove his videos by Barry. Okay. And now they did go checking out his last job site in Salida that was done. I'm not sure how thorough they did because we don't exactly know, but I might be getting some info snacks on that. So stay tuned because I'm a little curious about it, but I don't want to say anything yet. There's a lot of things that weren't true. There's a lot of things. So I don't like bringing up any of that until I get confirmation. Sometimes I do give my opinion, but I let you know that it's my opinion. And people are all over me getting so mad about what I observed in the Barry's 26-second video. But that's what I observed. I didn't say it's for sure. It's just what I observed. I'm not bringing up all the crazy rumors. I'm just doing my own what I see. So, and I did that. This is the weird thing. I did that with Lori Vallow. I did that with Letitia. I did that in all the things that I've done. But this one, whew, they're mad. How dare me? Well, that's what I see, and I'm not saying anything that's brutal. I mean, I'm just saying he blinked twice and there's a pattern. So, okay, so anyways, back to his interview. So on the one hand, if he is innocent, right? And he could be. He could just be concerned Barry in this Tyson video and just saying, here's what I think. This is one of my theories. This is my one of theories. This is one of my theories. And here's where he said 200 square miles that they covered, whatever. He said, and he's like, okay, I went over here and I went over here and this is where the bike, right? If he's not innocent, then I could see him try and gain trust from Tyson saying, here's what I think, here's what I think, here's what I think, to put the seeds in him for a different reason. So there's both ways. There's both ways, right? So right away when he was talking about the mountain lion drag, he's like, yeah, a mountain lion can just drag a body and he started talking about that. Let me just pull up the exact words. I just was like, wow, that's pretty just like so matter of fact. But that could be him. That could be him. He said, where is that? I gotta find it. But anyways, he was talking about mountain lions and dragging them this and that. So am I sure Barry didn't know he was being recorded? I don't know. Maybe he saw it, maybe didn't. I don't know. We don't even know when she was last seen. We really don't. Officially. There's no mention of when she's last seen. Oh, Linda, the cops seen a mountain lion walk past their cruiser while they were on scene. That's why the mountain lion got brought up. Okay, So that's even better because the authorities still say, nah, we don't think an animal got to her. Yeah, Tyson did say the camera's off and then put it in his pocket or whatever it is. But so there's two ways, but the other thing that was weird to me, I guess not weird to me, but I just noticed, is that he was talking about how he left that morning and then went to Denver. Now, this is good, again, because now we know that he's saying, no, I was in Denver doing a job. And a lot of people thought, oh, that was a firefighter job. But clearly he's saying, no, I was doing a job and then I had my guys, because he had a landscaping company, right? So he's saying, I prepped my workers. Yeah, the channel's still there, but there's no videos on Tyson's. So yeah, that's what they're saying. There'd probably be something. But here's the thing. I'm going to go back to this. There was no descriptors of the bike. I don't even think they think the bike was involved, meaning the authorities. Because think of it, I've said this before, but if you have a missing person 101, what does the person look like? What color's their hair? What color's their eyes? How tall are they? How much do they weigh? What were they doing? When were they last seen? What is they're riding their bike. What did the bike look like? So let's tell everybody what the bike looks like, and let's, there's no description of the bike. I don't even think they believe she was on that bike. I don't think so. Wouldn't they be like, we need we need your help. Here's what, it's a green bike or whatever the color would be. It's a X bike. It's a mountain bike. It's a however many speed it is. Right? There's nothing, and there's no update from the authorities at all. And why? No one saw her on a bike. In fact, when did somebody last see her? When did somebody officially last see her? They don't even know. The note released said blue bike, blue helmet, riding clothes. Which note? The one from authorities? Catherine says, we only know two things. She was reported missing on Mother's Day and the neighbor called the police. That's it. You're right. We know that she was reported missing on Mother's Day. It wasn't said that she was missing because he even corrected himself. He corrected himself and said, he was going to say she went missing, and then he changed himself. She was reported missing on Sunday, May the 10th. On Mother's Day. So these are important things. Cindy Lynn says, remember in Gannon's case, the authorities went dark. They already knew what happened. Maybe the police already know. I'd love to know. And there was a discussion too. They were talking about, there was a crime scene analyst, a crime scene specialist, and they were talking about, like, look, I don't know, 11 days I'm having the house on hold. I'm recreating a crime scene, she said. That's what I would be doing. Now, they let them back in the house, but don't forget, like in Gannon's case, they let the family back in the house too, remember? Let me see, because it actually made Crime Online. let me see it. Crime Online actually talked about Tyson and his video. Let me just read here. A private citizen appears to have surreptitiously recorded a conversation with Barry Morphew, the husband of missing Colorado mother Suzanne Morphew. The man, who identifies himself as Tyson Draper, later uploaded video of the conversation to YouTube. The YouTube video, originally published by Draper, was removed from the platform on Monday afternoon. Crime Online had previously viewed the video and transcribed audio. The video was uploaded to another YouTube account, which stated in the account owner obtained Draper's permission before posting. Draper, who says in the video that he is from Arizona, apparently traveled to Chaffee County, Colorado, and tracked down Barry Morphew as he was in the mountainous area where investigators have been searching for Suzanne, who was reported missing from her Maysville home on May 10th. Welcome, VTEL. If you guys are just wondering what those are, the green, that's part of my membership. So if you're just wondering what the heck is that popping up. And they have little sirens and magnifying glasses beside their name. Let me just see here. Thank you, Carla. Okay, where was I? Adrienne says, no mention of Barry doing a lie detector test. No mention officially of that. What was the other thing? Okay, so where did I go? My Crime Online thing. Okay, so it talks about Tyson. We've searched a 200-mile radius. All the mountains have been covered so far. I do notice that he said, my guys went and checked over here, because he said he's hired guys himself. My guys checked over here. So I was like, maybe they should go check over there then. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure why the daughters aren't speaking. I don't blame them, to be honest. Okay, let me see. That's pretty much all it says on Crime Online. Okay, this is where Barry talks about private people. What seems to have happened from the investigators, he says, and they don't give me much. I've got private people working for me, is maybe she was abducted. They found an article going west of hers. They won't tell us what it is. So there's two ways to look at it, in my opinion. I don't think Tyson knew Barry. I don't think so. But you know what I did find too is when he first started talking in that video, it's like, wow, his voice doesn't sound like his first video. His voice sounds very different. And Barry's mom was in the truck with him, yes, during the interview. Right? It's like there's a couple weird things about it. So think of it this way, okay? Okay, hang on. I just need to sit back for a little bit in my creaky chair. Hurts a little bit sometimes on here. Yeah, teenager and one just going into college, right? For the girls. I don't blame her though. If you're just joining me in my creaky chair and my butt's getting numb, we're talking about Suzanne Morphew case. We've talked about quite a few cases this far. So I don't know what to think, but let's get back to this. Let's say you're Barry, right? And you need people on your side, let's just say, or want, right? Like if you, it's hard. I'm going to do this from both sides. If you're Barry and you have a guy coming up to you who says, I want to help and try and find Suzanne. And that's what he said. He said, I want to help and try and find Suzanne. So he hops out and starts walking him and takes him to the spot where he needs to be, right? Or where he's showing him. It's like, I'm showing you, here's where they found this, here's where they found that, here's they found this, right? He's going to tell the guy as much as possible. Now, if Barry's on the opposite end and he knows what's something, but he's, doing what he needs to do to show that he's innocent, he's also going to talk to this guy like, in the manner he did. So either he did or didn't. I don't know. I have a few red flags, but then a few things are like, okay, maybe not, right? What was I going to say? There was another thing I wanted to say. Oh, I want to say this about the bike. Back to how the authorities didn't put out the descriptor of the bike. And the bike is in the ravine. It doesn't mean that Barry put the bike there, right? It doesn't. But I don't think the bike was ever there, like ever involved in this. Meaning, I don't think she was ever riding the bike because the bike's not being, and I don't think the authorities do because I think they would have described it. So that's my thoughts. Exactly. We do have to wait and see what the outcome is. So that's what I'm saying. I'm giving both sides for Barry. There's two sides to it for him. I just believe she didn't go for a bike ride because of what I just mentioned a few times. I do find it odd too. Why wouldn't the authorities give us some sort of update? It's Just Best says detention centers in the area were releasing inmates due to COVID. I believe she also complained about a guy. Well, there we go. So Star Lacey says, as always, love you, Linda. Mike is sounding great. Haha, thank you. Thank you so much. Why wasn't there fingerprints on the bike anywhere? That's so odd. Someone at some point would have had to touch. I don't know. Maybe she had biking gloves on. But again, I don't know. Yeah, so hopefully there's a little more info that comes out officially. I think they were talking about it raining. I believe they did. But Barry did voice his opinion about how he's upset at the sheriff's office because they were all handling the bike and whatnot. So I don't know exactly what happened about that. We don't know. They're not going to tell us. But yeah, we'll see about that. Okay, so where are we now? We've covered quite a few tonight, haven't we? Whew. Okay, so before I get to Lori Vallow, a couple people were, I just noticed you're talking about Madison Bell. Madison Bell has been found, as you know, or most of you know. I was sent a picture of her and the new guy together in a selfie. So they're riding off into the sunset. So there's that. All right. Kathy says, and after some research, there are several instances that you do not release information, kidnapping and walking away from life. Yeah. Oh, I also read on Madison Bell that she knew this guy for 3 years from a gaming app. And that was it. That's all I know on that. Lori, you're using my word. So I wish Madison the best. I mean, it's obviously a different way that she could have done it. Thank goodness she's alive, and now we can just bless and release that case. And it not being a horrible one, except for there's going to be a lot of people in a lot of pain, in my opinion. All right, you ready for Lori? We still have, how many we have? 1,100 people in here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on a Monday night. I thought it was Sunday night. I should know better. And yeah, I appreciate you guys spending time with me and through this whole time, because we've covered, what did we cover? 101 minutes so far. And we did a bunch of cases tonight. So now we are going to talk about Lori Vallow and Melanie Gibb and that whole fiasco. Okay, so let's get into it. No, I think it's Monday. Has it been confirmed that Tylee never left Yellowstone National Park? Officially, that's the last time they have proof of her being somewhere. Okay, give us some Lori insanity. Yeah, I thought you were going to say sanity. I was like, honey, there's none of that. Okay. Did you guys see my 3-part series on Melanie Gibb's interview? Because there was a lot of info in that. And there was a lot of insights. I feel like once Melanie said about them not being on the planet, it was super heartbreaking. That was the first time I actually got choked up because I was so hopeful that they were still around. So that was big. She says some other things, and I think that it makes the other Melanie Pawlowski or Melanie Boudreau, not look so good. But I do believe this Melanie Gibb, I believe she's coming from a place of truth. I think some things, she tries to come across with love and love everybody and, be kind. But she did make some important things. She was careful in her video. However, that's what makes it even more important of the words that she does say. Because she's so careful over here, when she talks about how Lori and Chad need to be in jail and not get out, that is huge, I think. I think she knows more than she's saying in terms of details. I do think that. But I think it's a different type of know more than what Melanie Pawlowski knows, or Pawlowski, or Melanie Boudreau. Melanie Boudreau is goes in circles. I'm not going to say the word. She talks in circles. Whereas Melanie Gibb is like, listen, I'm embarrassed. It took me a while to be at this place where I can come forward on camera. Here's what I think. I love Lori. I love Chad. They're good people. Lori's like Velcro, but what they're doing is wrong. So I think for the first time in Lori's inner circle, I think this is huge. So welcome aboard Christie's Boutique. So I do feel for Tylee and JJ and Larry and Kay and Colby, and now I wonder what they're thinking, what Larry, Kay, Colby, what they're thinking now that they've heard what's going on. Now, I am gearing up for a video of Brandon Boudreau's day that he was shot, because there's some more little info that Melanie Gibb gave, like the icing on the cake for me to put this in a video. And I think, what else that I had in there? There's a couple more things, and I'm going to do a little deep dives as well. Plus, I'm going to do some in my membership as well with that. But basically, I think it's time to do a few things to hone in on from what Melanie says, because these little bits that we get from all these other characters, all these other people, are going to lead us to what actually happened. Melanie Gibb gave so much info in this small little interview that even if she said 4 words, it would be more than what the heck Melanie Boudreau would have said, right? And Chad can't be sitting there zipping around and having fun times while he deserves to be somewhere else as well. And he is doing, he's looking worse and worse. He really is. And imagine his kids watching all these shenanigans go down. And like, it's ridiculous. Even when I heard Melanie talking about the cookies, and Lori made cookies for the kids and stuff, I was like, that's just sick. That she's just smiling on the, outside and the inside because, their mother's gone and now they could be together, Chad and Lori, and she's giving cookies to his kids. Like, I just think it's just creepy. Now, I did say yesterday in my part 3 video that they started talking about the earthquake in Idaho and how they were thinking, oh, well, once the earthquake comes, nobody's going to really pay attention to anything except the earthquake and the destruction, so we can get away with whatever we want. Well, maybe then they were in Utah. Did I say Idaho? I meant Utah. Oh, you wait. There's going to be more about Chad coming in my videos. You wait. So, I did do a Chad video a while ago, and that was just on like this much information. Now I got this much information. There's going to be a lot more on Chad. And yeah, the portal. There you go. See? Sydney says, I live in Utah and the earthquake definitely shook us, but it wasn't enough to distract from murders. And why are they talking about Utah if they're in Idaho? I think they went to Utah. Tammy was buried in Springville, Utah, even though she lived in Idaho. There was an earthquake in Utah in March, but Lori thought it was going to happen at the end of 2019. Pamela says, I wrote to Lori waiting to hear back from her. That will be interesting. I would love to see that. So, is it abnormal for earthquakes to happen in Utah? Big ones, from what I read, doesn't happen very often. There's little ones, but a lot that people can't feel. But I did look that up because I wonder if I still have it up. Maybe not. I might not. But yeah, there's not huge ones. Straight out of Narnia, yeah. Fracking is causing the earthquakes. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, the portal in the closet. I love when Nate Eaton's like talking about the portal. He's like a box? Oh, that was so funny. Oh, I got to share this with you. I shared this with people last night in my membership. But I got to share this with you only because I just found it so funny. As soon as I came out with the Melanie Gibb interviews, everybody was responding in the comments, but they had like food-related comments. So, for example, one person's like, well, the fruit in the basket's getting crowded. And then the next person's like, does Chad even know his own rhubarb? I've never heard that before, and this is the first time I actually can say it without laughing because I just found that so funny. Then another person's like, well, this story is a couple fries short of a Happy Meal. And then the next person, like, it was always constantly food, and I found it hilarious. It just had me in tears crying. The other one was, something about a couple sandwiches short of a picnic. It's like, what is going on tonight that everybody's talking about food and, I don't know. Shakes out the family tree and the fruits and nuts fall out, yeah. Sally says, Julie Rowe books predict 2 huge earthquakes that destroy Utah, about an 8 and a 10 on the Richter scale. Then the chosen people will go to the mountain top tent city that they say will be so holy. So Pamela says, I basically asked her if she needed any money. I told her about me and my autistic nephew, Nelson. That's interesting. I wonder what she would say back. Where are the children? Yeah, where are the kids, Lori? So, what did you guys find? What was besides about the children? I mean, we know that's the most important part, but that's the most obvious part, right? Was what she said, that she doesn't believe that they're on the planet anymore. What else did you find that stuck out at you? Any theories about the Tammy autopsy? Well, I hope we get something back. I don't believe that she just died in her sleep. I think Lori got impatient, Chad got impatient, and, well, we know what happens next. All the husbands and wives and Alex died of heart complications. Yeah, it's weird. I want to do a pattern video. There's so many patterns. It's going to probably take me forever to do. Maybe I'll just chop it up and do like part 1 patterns, part 2 patterns. I wonder what kind of cookies Lori fed the kids. I wonder. Let me see what else. What did Lori see in Chad? I don't know. his teachings and his books, and she just went cray. I doubt if she baked them herself. Didn't anyone tell poor Tammy that? Yeah, didn't anyone tell poor Tammy that her husband was predicting her death? That's what I'd like to know. I've heard or read that they're saying that no, Tammy didn't, but we don't know. Maybe Chad alluded to it. I don't know. I'd like to know what Chad gave Tammy the night she died. Oh, honey, I'll take care of you. Let me get you some tea and some powdered donuts. Yeah, like, would he say to her, you know, like, I have this premonition, I can't shake it, that you're going to die in a car accident or something, right? Like, I don't know. Are Chad Daybell's kids suspicious? I really don't know. We haven't heard much of anything. What's interesting that wasn't talked about in the Melanie Gibb interview was no mention of Colby at all. So I would have liked Nate to ask Melanie about Colby. There's a couple things I would have liked to have known. What was it? Had to do with Melanie going down. Tammy's autopsy was done, but they haven't released the results. And remember that Chad and Lori are now being investigated for conspiracy of murder, and something else when it comes to Tammy. Oh yeah, the date that she came down, I do know now it is from the 19th to the 23rd, which is interesting. They have to be getting close to releasing Tammy's autopsy, you would think. They have to be. I wonder, though, if Chad made a little trip to Utah with more than one person. Chad is not in jail. Somebody sent me a picture too. Apparently, they sent me a picture and it showed a shirt around a pole, like a telephone pole or a pole, and it says, where's the kids? And Chad allegedly was taking that down. Ah, there we go. There you are, Rose. There you go. I haven't wrote you back yet on that, but I saw that before I got on. I was like, oh. I think when it comes to Chad, that he's not there yet. Oh, Beth Ann, thank you. Have a good night. I think when it comes to Chad, why they haven't got him yet, I think they want to get him on something good, meaning something bigger than what they can. Perhaps. I agree with that. Okay, so where did I see that now? Aspen Girl says, I was surprised how much Chad was the influencer, thought Lori was front and center. Yes, I did think that earlier too. When I did Chad's video, this was a while. Remember when if you saw this, I'm like, ooh, Chad, things are getting bad. Want a cupcake? I think I opened the video with that. That's where I started to see how much more involved he was than we thought. And after last week's 3-part series, it's clear to us that Chad was more than what we thought. And I think both of them are equally guilty. I think so. I think they feed off of each other. I think they're like, oh yeah, what about this? What about that? You know, ooh, what about that? But he's a master manipulator. I mean, when you think about this, if you're Lori, you're meeting this stranger, except for you read all of his books and you follow his teachings, and now you're meeting this guy that you're in like crazy about his teachings and his books and him. You're meeting him and he's like, hey, we've been married 5 times before. I know you. I know you well. Right? It's weird. It's super weird. And she's lapping it up. And then he's thinking, ooh, she likes this. Let's play it on a little bit thicker. Right? Well, if that works, okay, what's the obstacle? The obstacle is Lori's still married. How can I figure that one out? Good night, James. How can I figure that one out, right? So he goes, I know. She believes my teachings. That's how I'm going to get to her. So I'm going to tell her Charles is a zombie. That's what I'm going to say. Let's test that theory out. Give a call. Give a typing. She gets an email. Oh my gosh. Chad thinks that Charles is a zombie. Oh my gosh. Let's go steal $35,000 out of his account. Okay. Hey, neighbors. Right? And Chad's like, holy crap. Anything I say, she's listening. Okay, let's take this another step further. Right? This has to be, legit, this has to be. So here's the other thing. Now, she has 3 burner phones, okay? According to Melanie Gibb, Lori has 3 burner phones. Why then does why does Lori have to email Chad about Chad coming to her house if she has 3 burner phones? Why? Because she actually said this is from Charles. She needed that to be. She needed that. So now, Chad's like, okay, I got this. Let's all gather. Let's gather and talk about zombies because these people are lapping it up. Okay, Charles is out of the way. He's killed. Alex believes in zombies. So does Melanie at the time. So does the other Melanie. And so does Lori. What do we need to do? Ooh, what's next? I know, my own wife is in the way. Because we have plans together, and I'm diddling Lori, so we got a problem. My wife's starting to ask questions. What do we need to do? Oh dear. Tammy has to have been taken care of. Yeah. Oh, shoot, Lori's asking me to go to Arizona? Oh, how am I going to figure this one out? No, hang on. Lori, I came out of my portal. And I had a revelation. You know what the revelation was? You need to come to Rexburg. That's my revelation. You belong here. We need to do something here together. She's like, oh, I don't know if this is really right. Let me think on it. Okay, Chad. Okay. Sorry, neighbors. Sorry, I'm going to Chad. It's so freaking ridiculous, okay? And then it gets worse. So she moves there and she's like, oh, Chad, this accident is not happening. Oh my God, Chad. What, Lori? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I want you to do something. If you want all of this, then you're going to have to do something about it. Okay, Lori. Do. Shoot, Lori, the paintball gun didn't work. It didn't work. What are we going to do? Oh my God, Chad, if you don't do something, again, you're not going to get all this. So, what do you want? Then Chad's going, okay, I got it. Tell you what, while I help you go to the storage unit, I need you to get to brother and go kill Brandon, okay? You guys go do that, and I'm going to take care of Tammy, okay? We got this, yeah? Okay, fist pump, yeah. So what happens? Tammy dies, and he's like, oh, my poor Tammy died in the night from a cough. Well, what the heck did you feed her, Chad? Honest to God, what'd you feed her? This poor woman has probably watched or knew something was going on with Lori and idiot Chad, and she's probably like, what am I going to do? Somebody goes and makes an attempt, maybe that's a joke, and now she's dead. And what do? Oh my gosh. I forgot. Hey, Lori, it's another thing I forgot to tell you. Ooh, how are we going to get married now? We can't. Children are in the way. The children are, not my children, but your children are in the way. Your children are in the way. Oh, Chad, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then Chad's like, hang on. I got to go to my portal. I'll be right back. Side note, this is the longest soliloquy ever. Anyways, Lori, I got it. Your children are just like Charles. They're just like Charles and they're zombies, just like Brandon Boudreaux, just like Kay, just like everybody. We gotta do something, girl. We gotta do something. I did that for you. What are you gonna do for me? We only have 2 tickets. I only can afford 2 tickets to Hawaii. Charles had to pay for your ring. I only have 2 tickets. What are we going to do? Let's get rid of the children. Yeah, the earthquake's happening, so I can get rid of the children, and we already got rid of the rest. Like, this is foolproof. I got my ring on. And it's foolproof. Let's go to Hawaii. I can practice my hula skills, and Chad, you can play your ukulele, and we can just cheers. Like, right? This is what you see. Your friggin' kids are missing. Your kids are missing, and you're playing the ukulele and getting married in Hawaii. Lying to your oldest son, right? But you got your ring and you got your portal, okay? So it's all good. Now, thank God for Kay Woodcock. Because if Kay didn't call for that, if she didn't call for that welfare check, this would not, they could have gotten away with a lot more, right? And then you got Mini-Me, Lori's niece. Oh my God. Lori didn't do anything, and I didn't see anything. And I didn't do anything to Brandon, except Linda's on you, and Linda knows more. And Linda's gonna release a video that may say you will be, or you are, right? And she's like, there's no pattern of us being in a cult. There's no pattern of us being all moving down to Rexburg together. Oh no, wait a minute. Okay, hang on, and I'll sum this up, okay? Lori gets a welfare check on the 26th. The 28th, I think it was the 28th, was Thanksgiving, right? Magically, the 27th, Chad and Lori, so there's the 26th, Chad and Lori leave on the 27th. The 28th, Melanie Boudreau magically goes, leaves town too for Thanksgiving. Fair enough, it is Thanksgiving, but magically she goes. Okay, and then you have Thanksgiving, and then you have, oh my God, Melanie gets married 10 days after she meets a guy on an app in Vegas. Oddly, her uncle Alex also gets married at the same time. And Chad decides to take all his children to Disneyland. Not probably because it was booked. I mean, if you're going to Disneyland, you're probably planning a little bit, right? To bring all your children. No. I have $430,000 that I got from Tammy, her death, that I upped right before. And I'm going to take you to Disneyland because holy crap, the cops are on our case. The cops are on our case. I tried to lie. I said I didn't even know Lori. I didn't even remember her phone number. But holy crap, I need to go. So kids, round it up. We're going to California. Lori's coming. There's all these weddings. And where are they going? They're going to Hawaii and they're flying from Los Angeles. Is this not what the actual heck is going on? Now, the kids are probably like, this is awesome. Heck yeah, let's go to Disneyland. And then they're like, wait a minute. I mean, even just me talking about this, it is so ridiculous. And now you have Lori in jail. It's not saying where the kids are. Won't say where the kids are. Maybe she'll wait till July 23rd when she actually wakes up on the 23rd and go, oh my gosh, Chad got it wrong again. Why? Why did Chad get it wrong? Neighbors, jail neighbors. Adrian says Valley Girl voice. Like it's just... Please don't use the same skit that another creator used 2 days ago. I'm trying to steal their show. This is very interesting. What are you talking about? Actually, I recognize your name. I recognize your name. So earlier today, I actually had to give a strike to a channel who stole my video and uploaded my video. And I told them to take it down, but I actually went on there. So I don't know if she's talking about that. Because how would I steal a skit? I don't even know how to do that. But basically that's who was talking on that video was this Lynn. So if that's what you're talking about and you're being sarcastic or whatever. So on this video that somebody stole my video on Lori Vallow and literally has my video in there, they took out the part to say, welcome to It's a Crime if you subscribe and all that. They actually deleted that part and still uploaded my video. So I said, take it down. And then I reported them. And Lynn said in there, be nice. This person probably didn't do anything. But we know that because they clipped out that little bit, that it was stealing. It's totally stealing. It wasn't even them talking about my video. It was them taking the entire video and uploading it to their channel. I'm totally loving right now. And you know what the thing is? I don't even have time to see my own videos. So, and to be honest, that's not the first time. In the past 4 weeks, I have had to report 4 or 5 people, 4 or 5. This person that did this video today, they didn't have my thumbnail. They had me in it, but they didn't actually steal my thumbnail, where most of these people are taking my thumbnails as well. Or they're just taking my thumbnail and using their own video. Good night, Elizabeth. Thank you for coming. So anyways, it's great though. A lot of people have my back, and they send me emails saying, hey, you know, somebody stole your content. I don't know how you guys find it. It's incredible how you find it. But you're like, you know, somebody stole your videos, so I'll give you the heads up. So yeah, Eric, they're saying that paintball gun was a real gun. Like Kay said that they're figuring it was, because Brandon thought it was a paintball gun too at first, but then they found out no, it's not, because his window was actually shot in his Tesla. And interestingly, Tammy called it a paintball gun too, but it misfired. It didn't actually go. So now, the other interesting part in that, in Melanie's video, was she was talking about the day that Brandon got shot. And she said that Melanie and Alex asked Melanie Gibb to go by his old house to see if the kids were there. And the neighbor said, no, Brandon was shot at like 2 weeks ago. So then Melanie comes back. It's like, oh my gosh, like Brandon he was shot at. And Alex and Melanie Boudreau was like, yeah, I know. And they said, yeah, we think that somebody did that, but blamed it on us. Like, I don't know, come on. Yeah, they know because they did it. And why would they say, okay, here's the other thing. Okay, what was I going to say? Why is Alex and Melanie telling Melanie Gibb to go to the old house when Melanie Pulowski would know that the kids have moved? Because you have to. You have to tell them if you're moving. Legally. Good night, Woods girl and kids. Yeah, Melanie was reported to be pregnant. That was a true thing. Jody says, lovable Linda, keep going with your funny, sweet, and truth-speaking self. We love you. Once I start seeing their stuff, I can't even help it. Like, even on Letitia, I go on a tangent. But really, when you start to just bring it down to that, you're like, it's just ridiculous. And the saddest thing about it is just tell us where the freaking kids are. Yeah, Melanie is pregnant. It's so strange watching you live. He probably came in with my little soliloquy, my Saturday Night Live on a Monday night. Sometimes I get a little kooky. Melanie Gibb, from what I understand, is with somebody. That's from a reliable source. I bet Ian would like to rethink his 10 days of dating Melanie, I'm sure. Yeah, so Melissa says, Melanie talked a whole lot but really didn't say anything. I think it was strange she lived next door to Lori for a month or so and never saw the kids and never thought to question it. Exactly. Exactly. And in her interview, she said, oh, I was at Lori's house and the Tylee and JJ's room was perfect. I believe that maybe in the first time she visited, but not when she moved. July 22nd is the supposed day, so I'm sure on the 23rd, Lori might have a rude awakening. Good night, Brenda. Wow, my back is starting to get killer right now. It's starting to be killer. Yeah, Melanie P doesn't have Lori's number despite them being so close and Lori having 3 phones. Guess what I found today? Today? Guess what I found? Melanie supposedly has 3 phone numbers. Uh-oh. Melanie Pulowski. Could you imagine being on Ian's point of view? Like, he meets this girl for 10 days, marries her, and then finds out, oh my gosh, what did I marry into? Yeah, I think Melanie Gibb had to be careful with what she said too, but I have no idea about how much Melanie P got paid to do that interview. I know she contradicts herself quite a bit. Unless he drank the Kool-Aid too, like Lori's lipstick. I wish I knew Lori's jail address. I'd send her the Bible verse where Jesus said he will come like a thief in the night. Actually, there's somebody in here who did write Lori. So... Hi, Leah from Kenya. Yeah, Ian, yeah, I bet he sleeps with one eye open, absolutely. Adrienne says, but then he went back and spineless now, so gross. Like, Lori's, I've said this before, Lori's not happy that Chad's in, I don't know if he still is, but as for the last little bit, he was living back in his home they shared with Tammy. I don't think he's very, very happy about that. I think Lori missed a couple of chapters, even though Melanie Gibbs said she knows quite a bit of the Bible. Yeah, it was scary how people knew Tammy needed to die. Who are these freaks behind the veil? I know, it's crazy. I can't believe, how long have we been talking? 144 minutes. I can talk to you guys all night. It's crazy. started at 7:45. 2.5 hours almost. No wonder why my butt's numb. I would like to know a couple things about a couple people in that whole thing. It's important to look at all aspects because it leads you to the truth, right? Yeah, the movie will be called Behind the Veil, absolutely. Behind the Veil and Into the Portal. Chad does have grandbabies, yes. I believe 3. Karen says, who else are we going to talk about? We're at the end pretty much of all the people that I ran through. I ran through so many tonight. I did Evelyn Boswell, and I will put all of these in the description below once this process, probably by tomorrow. And now I can put, they call them chapters that YouTube's doing now. So we'll do, you can actually click on it and go to the timestamp. So we did Evelyn Boswell, we talked about Holly Clark, Letecia Stauch, we talked about George Floyd, and we talked about Suzanne Morphew, we talked about Vanessa Guillen, and we talked about Lori Vallow's case. Nate did interview Melanie Boudreau, but the lawyers were interjecting. I covered a lot tonight. Lots of info snacks. What or where do you think Letitia's daughter is? I think she's in South Carolina. I think. I don't know for sure. Anything new on Madison Bell other than she's been found? Oh yeah, I talked about Madison Bell too tonight. She's been found. She had a selfie with her new man, and apparently she's happy. Yes, Vanessa Guillen, missing from Fort Hood. Yeah, I covered her tonight too. Not a whole lot of new information, but a little bit of information. And there is a petition to sign so that the White House can take a look at Vanessa's disappearance. Oh yeah, maybe she is in Florida now. We don't know. I don't know how that works. We'll give it a few more minutes and then I'm going to have to stretch my body because for some reason tonight it's hurting. Gannon update I did earlier. They are doing on the 5th of June. There's supposed to be a hearing, but they've pushed that. But they're still having Letitia to come in front so they can discuss about this lawyer stuff that she's saying. Basically, the lawyer wanted her to have bond so that she can be in the safety of her own home to review the documents. It's ridiculous. Good night, Chastity. Yes, am I still going to be doing the video dedicated on Harley? I do. I have a little bit more left, and then I can probably do it. So it'll be on a timeline so much. Yes, Tasha, I have. That may be coming. You guys are awesome for joining me tonight. I'm really, really appreciative of you spending time with me. We have 1,000 people on. It's just crazy when you think about that, 1,000 people in a room. Who is Harley? Harley is Letitia Stauch's daughter. So at least now we're in June 1st. I have, just so you know, I have a new merch design coming your way, and it just was finished. I might tweak it a little bit, but it says, let's get into it. So that's going to be coming. That's big for June. What else I'm going to be doing in June? I'll be covering more cases, obviously. Make sure I'm diving into the right cases that I've been doing. There'll be some new ones. And I still have to have Scott Reich on the channel, so we got to get that. My live stream, I'm going to up the game and try and do like screen sharing and make it a little bit more interesting on there as well. And what else did I want to say? I don't have all, that's the thing, I can't screen share on my phone. Yeah, I'm happy to hang out with you guys. I really like it. I really enjoy it. We've got bigger bananas to fry. Oh my gosh, my sister says that. My sister says that, and she's the one who comes up with the things like, you know, remember about the circle jerk? She comes up, she talks like that, and she's like, we have bigger bananas to fry. I was like, bigger bananas? What? I thought it was fish to fry. She's like, it's bigger bananas. I'm like, oh, okay. Megan says, Rexburg, Idaho is loving you, Linda. Oh, yay! I'm so glad. Thank you, Stephanie, for having my back and looking out for that. Yeah, I heard bigger fish to fry. My sister says bigger bananas to fry. Oh, you got it from me. Okay. I don't remember saying that. But yeah, there's other bananas to fry. Thank you, Tasha. I do try to gather all the facts together, and then my opinion comes out once I start knowing, you know, their little isms and their patterns. I never see. Now tomorrow you guys are going to be like, listen, I got other bananas to fry. My little one asked me, he's like, what does knock it off mean? Where'd you hear that? He's like, what does knock it off mean? I'm like, it's kind of like cut it out. He goes, Daddy, knock it off. Barbara says, love your channel. As a retired paramedic, I have all the time in the world. That's what my hubby is, a paramedic as well. Bigger bananas to fry. Yeah, what's knock it off mean? Why? Why do you want to know what knock it off means? What does it mean? Where'd you get that from? And then, of course, he has to use it, right? Daddy, knock it off. Mr. Linda's like, what? Why? Where'd you get that from? Why are you telling me to knock it off? Mommy told me what it means. Yeah, the sarcasm comes out. You guys will start to see my video, the very first one. You know, it's nicey. I'm trying to figure out who's who. Okay, let me see. Okay, missing boy. Yeah, this is really sad. I'm going to take Gannon's case on. Ooh, Letitia, don't like what she's saying. Let's look into her more. Okay, the sarcasm comes out. I have a 17-year-old, almost 18, and 5, almost 6. Yeah, see, Barbara, you know where it's coming from. She says, you're married to a paramedic, you have to be sarcastic sometimes. That's the thing. Ever since I married him, I'm even more sarcastic, but I'm more lighter, more playful, more, you know. Yes, Penny, exactly. I'm sure Gannon would be like to be in the safety of his own home too. I saw some, mentioned earlier tonight in this live stream, I saw a kid the other day that looked like Gannon, and I froze and looked at him and just stared at him. Thank you, Nanny Love. Very appreciate all you guys. I appreciate every single one of you. A forwarding address, you guys, my P.O. box, is that what you're saying? I can post it if you want. Thank you, Adrian. She says you're a good apple, Linda, with bigger bananas. I got bigger bananas to fry. Why isn't this pulling up? Tots says Gannon's case has my heart. Might try to go to trial. I live near Denver. Yeah, I thought about that too. I don't know if we're even allowed to fly from Canada to the States. Do I still have prison bars on my nails? No. Oh, it's hard to see that. I'll bring them back though, I'm sure. Okay, let's see if I could do that. Okay, was it you, Mimi, that was saying about my Linda? It's a crime. Oh, I think that double copied. And then if you guys wanted to know about my crime ring membership, that's there. Oh no, wait. That's not clickable. There you go. That should work. Yeah. Where can we find the video from Gannon's mom? Oh, yeah. Let me grab you guys that, and then I'll update it when I can in the video. Let's see, Landon, where are you? Did you guys know that me and Landon share the same birth date? We were born on the same day. She's younger though, but we were born on the same day. should work. You guys are welcome. It's been awesome talking to you guys. I really wish I knew how Tisha was doing in jail. Well, I'm pretty sure she's sitting there thinking she's innocent and probably not taking ownership of anything. Thank you, Joanna. Oh, Cherish. That's awesome that you like it. Okay, so if you did the highest tier, then you can Zoom. It's so easy. I give you the actual instructions in there. Like, even people are like, I've never done this before and I'm super scared. And now they're like, why was I so scared about it? I really liked it. So it's easy. Yeah, you're right. Buying subscribers is a real thing, and it's also against terms of service. And I would never do that. I would never, ever do that. I mean, what's the point in buying people if they're not going to watch your content? It's just so stupid. So people who are buying that are dumb. That puts them in a position where they get their YouTube channel completely deleted and or striked or whatever else they do. And me and my husband, because we were accused of that from other YouTubers who were really upset that I grew so quickly, we figured it out 2 months ago. So I'm bigger, my channel's bigger than it was 2 months ago, but we figured it out. It cost us $15,000 a month to buy views and likes. Because this YouTuber actually put like a little chart on there, like, okay, let's look at the chart. And we started laughing, like, okay, I'm gonna spend $15,000 to have fake views. Like, it's so stupid. Yes, I'm in Canada. Oh, Cindy Lynn says, I look forward to our group chat's big day tomorrow, helping son with a 15-second video for his virtual graduation. I guess he'll dress up and walk across the living room to the TV for his diploma. That's a good idea. My son last week had graduation video or pictures, but we did it outside, and yeah, we didn't get to really do a whole lot. He doesn't really care though. He's pretty good about it. Yenny says, I didn't know that people could buy subscribers. I didn't know until the other YouTubers said you could do that too. I had no idea. You thought I lived in Florida? This is funny. I know I'm in Canada. Canada is beautiful. I would recommend going to British Columbia. Bob and Doug McKenzie are from Canada too, eh? Ya hoser, eh? That's a long time ago, Bob and Doug. Oh, what is the crime ring? That is my membership. My membership that I have on YouTube, and it's just like extra content. We have extra, what do you call it? Members only live streams, deep dives. It's a bunch of things that we do a little extra something. So it is a monthly thing, but it starts off with $2, and then there's different tiers. So I made it super affordable for people. there's the link for that. Bye, Betty. Oh, just by you guys being here and watching my videos is huge support. Nobody has to join the crime ring or anything like that. I super appreciate everybody. Without you guys, there wouldn't be my channel. No, Kim, I haven't. I'm gonna write that down though. Oh, my back, you guys are starting to get bad. So, oh, you guys, I love you guys too. Yes, who just said that? Lisa. I saw that last night on my map. It's weird that you said that because I looked on my map and I went, what is this place? How much does it pay to be a bot subscriber? I don't know. Priceless, apparently. Could you imagine what it would cost now? Like 30 grand a month for me to buy people? Okay. If I had 30 grand to buy people, don't you think I'd be sitting on a beach somewhere? Sipping pina coladas. All day, every day. I'm still live. Yeah, Denisa, I'm still live. I've been yapping for a long time. I don't even know what's even like what does a bot do? Like, I don't understand. I understand bots in a classic sense, but I don't know what it means for YouTube. I don't get it. I have a lot of comments that get filtered that people are like, hi, I want to be friends. Hi, I want to be friends. Hi, I want to be friends. And then that's about it. $5.20 per 1,000 views. Okay, hang on. Let's do some math. Math is math, right? Let's do math. $5.20, and that's American, okay? So, let me just say something. Please hold. Let's do the math on this. That's for 1,000 views? Okay. So, let's just do for a month. We're going to go into my analytics for a sec. Let's just see. The month of May. Oh, I need my calculator. Okay, the month of May, I had 1.3 million views. Okay, so let's do the math. Calculator. Okay. 1.3, that's a lot, hold on, 1,300,000 divided by 1,000 times, I hope I did that right, $5.20. I didn't do that right, hang on. Please hold. Sorry, I didn't mean to be quiet. Just hang on. So, welcome, Rona. Is it Rona or Rana? I'll give you the details here. And you can see on the details for that membership, you can also see a video that'll explain it to you, so you're not getting chucked into it. It's just, it describes what it is in the different tiers. Okay, does that work? Oh yeah, see, now that's $6,760 per month. But I guess in March I had a higher amount maybe. But if we do that in Canadian dollars, okay, let's do that. That'd be $9,734 a month. But that's just for views. That's not for subscribers. That's just for views, right? Or is that both? There was also an attempted kidnapping right before the area in Colorado. I'll have to look at that. That's funny. Linda, teachable moment, you would be an awesome teacher. Here's a little info snack. I used to teach, actually I've taught a lot. I used to teach piano since I was 15, I taught piano. And then I basically was into fitness and health and fitness for the last, I don't know how many years. And so I helped moms out and I helped women out, pretty much was the focus. And so, yeah, I've been teaching in all kinds of aspects. Yes, I did. Glam Dollies, nice to see you. I did talk about Suzanne earlier. Welcome, Adrienne. Amber Alert. What was that? We just had an Amber Alert here in Kent. Some guy is suicidal and driving with his little girl. People are going nuts here. That's awful. Any new emojis? Yeah, I'll be making some new ones. It's time. Who did I have to strike? I can't remember the name. Fen something. I have it in the email. They stole my video. For some reason, people want to steal my Lori Vallow videos. Yeah, 1.3 million views in May, yeah, and something like, I think it was 30 or 40,000 maybe that was in April, 30,000 comments. All right, you guys, I'm gonna have to call it. I'm hurting. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I love having chats with you. It's just another level of communication and community. You guys are super awesome. The petition for Guillen. That is the one for the White House. Here's the one for Vanessa. There you go. So have a really good night. Tomorrow I'm going to update. I'll wait till tomorrow because it has to process this video. And then what I'll do is I'll add the descriptions, the links to each of the playlists so you guys can check that out. And now apparently they call them chapters. So hopefully I'll be able to timestamp that and you guys can just go right there. So have a really, really, really great night. I'm so happy to see you guys. I missed you guys for sure. It felt like forever, even though it's been just over a week. So thank you so much, and we will see you this week because there's going to be a ton more content coming. See you later, you guys. Thank you.